Jenny from Mountain One Product Stained Glass Studios. Let's talk about different types of flux. You got liquid, you got gel, and you got paste. All of them are made with the same active ingredients, which are zinc chloride and ammonium chloride. There are other fluxes out on the market, but in general, in this day and age in stained glass, we utilize this type of flux, otherwise known as a safety flux. Bear in mind, there is no safe flux, and you want to use all of your safety equipment every time. First up, we have liquid flux. This is one type called Canfield Technologies Blue Glass Flux. It's the first type that I ever used. It was recommended by my glass shop that was local, and I stuck with it for years. I like it. This is Amerway Gel Flux. There's also one called Classic Classic 100 Flux, and Gel Flux. And then we have Paste Flux. This one is No Corrode Paste Flux.
Let's talk consistency. Liquid is liquidy. Gel is like gel, and paste, it's like balm. Haha, you thought you knew what I was going to say, but you didn't. Let's try them out now. First up, we have liquid flux. I like to dip my brush in and give it a nice squeeze out so you don't end up with too much on your brush. And then I store it in a secondary little empty container. You'll have plenty left over. That's like sucked up into the bristles already, that you can use it for quite some time, and then you don't get the spatter all up in your face hole. That went on pretty smoothly. Let's do the second side. Meow, 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 meow. Shroom, shroom. Pretty smooth, no complaints. We're just tinning right now, and we'll be doing actual soldering and edge beading next. Here we go. Again, still just tinning. When I said next, I meant like next. Like after the next thing. Alright, let's grab our little clampy here because it's going to get hot. We added a little more flux, doing the edge beading. Goes on decently. And now I'm just going back through reheating and making it nice and even and party. Let's do it again. This time, when I do edge beading, I'm dipping in the actual flux container because you want a lot of flux when you're edge beading, as opposed to when you're soldering your regular lines. When you're edge beading, all of that flux, because gravity, starts heading downwards and away from your piece. So you want to use a lot of flux when you're edge beading. And that's the same whether you're using liquid, gel, or paste. The gel and paste stay in place a little bit better, but you know, when you heat them, they still become liquidier-ish. So they're still gonna down your piece. We have some fixes to do. Neaten it up a little bit here. Looks good. No need for an additional application of flux. Speaking of edge beading, if you're having trouble with yours and you need some help, I do have an edge beading class. I'll show you 3 different ways to get beautiful edge beads every time. Check that out in the links below. Of course, you can always ask me questions here too. Of course, we'll just probably get you there a little faster, that's all. Whatever floats your boat. Looks good. No problems there. Let's do our lines now, just wiping off any little BBs. That worked well. Second side. Almost done with the liquid. Let's see what happens on this one. Oop, that's a little lumpy bumpy. Let's go back through. Looks alright. And I'm going to do a little fix here. It's a little blobby. No need to apply any more flux. That worked well. This is our liquid. Now we're playing with gel. This has a flippy top, dude, but I don't use it often, and I want to be able to keep it as gel-like as possible. So I'm just pulling the top off for this. Dump a little out. I am using a separate brush for each one of these so we're not contaminating and messing up the experiment. And I'm also wiping my soldering iron off on the little sponge in between each one too. I did that before. I didn't record that part. All right, tinning. Let's see how this goes with the gel. Fairly smooth, nothing crazy. I don't think it's quite as smooth as the liquid, but it's nothing. It's not like bad. Something that I don't like about gel flux is that it makes everything very sticky. Like your piece, your tools, your brush, everything gets like kind of like on a hot summer's day when you're wearing shorts and you're sitting on like a plastic or pleather chair and you go to get up and your legs are like it's like that. Now we're doing some edge beading. As you can see, because it doesn't flow quite as easily as the liquid, I'm kind of pushing that brush around, like mushing it around the entire edge. That way it coats the edge and both sides. So single coat, it's a little lumpy bumpier here than the liquid was. Now we're going back through. Do some, We got some points there. So we're going to add a little more flux and fix that little point. If you get the little pointy bits that looks like stalagmites, whichever one freaking sticks up. If you get little points like that, it means one of two things. Either you don't have enough flux or your iron isn't hot enough. So try the flux first. And if you still are getting points, bump your iron up just a little bit. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow. Let's go back through. That one did better. I had a little bit more flux on that time. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Flump. Back through. It's not bad to work with, outside of the sticky schmacky thing. Not bad. It's not sending too many BBs flying anywhere. You can see the black there. It is kind of burning a little bit more. Let's do the regular solder line here. We'll go back through, do a quick de-lumpy bumping. Oh, there's a little too much. It got bubbly. Like spattery bubbly. Spattery bubbly. Second line. That one's better. Alright, there's our gel. And let's move on to paste. A little bit of this goes a long way, though that's pretty much any flux, honestly. And I'm putting a little bit on the paper towel. You never want to dip, in any kind of flux you're using, you never want to dip your brush directly in the flux bottle because you're going to contaminate it and eventually it'll stop working for you. So always put it in a separate little container. Cleaning the tip, and here we go. Tinning. It's very smooth. Slightly more smooth than liquid, slightly, and more smooth than gel. Whee! Look at it smoke though, holy crap. Look at that smoke. Holy crap. This one's super smoky. Like your great Aunt Matilda at bingo on a freaking Saturday night. So that part I'm not a big fan of. I mean, you got your mask on and you got your fan blowing out the window, but look at it. Yeah, it is nice and smooth though. Even my soldering iron was smoking. It's like, I feel like I need a holster, like a Wild West movie. Blow off your pistol, put it away. Let's see how it does on the second pass here. A little fixie pass. And nope, need a little more. What I'm finding is with the liquid, you can usually get away with considerably less reapplication during the fixing process or the going over, you know, your little lumpy bumpy bits or whatever. You don't have to reapply, generally speaking, with the liquid, but you have with the gel and with the paste. I feel like I should be telling you a story or something while we're watching this. Gotta watch the whole experiment, but you know, there's not a whole lot going on here. Little peek. See it? Okay, I'll tell you a quick story about the first time I ever soldered anything. I was all suited up, ready to go, face shield on, mask on, glove on my left hand, no glove on my right because it was brand new iron, and I'm like, oh, I won't be touching flux with it. Not that nitrile gloves are going to save you from this level of dumbness, but I was ready to go. I'm like, here's old stained glass wood. And I pick up my soldering iron, just like a freaking pencil, right by the hot metal part. I lost a couple of layers of skin that first time. Though I was a trooper, after a few choice words and maybe a scream or two, I put a Band-Aid on and back at it I went. So, just fair warning, don't pick it up like a pencil. Just don't do that. That was the end of my story. Alright, now we're moving on to the regular solder line. Ooh. The paste definitely makes everything a little slimier, where the gel makes it like sticky. The paste makes it more wee, like oily, slippery. Kind of like if you put Vaseline all over everything. So it does get on your tools and stuff. The only complaint I have about liquid is that if you use too much, it gets very spattery. So you have to make sure that you're not putting too much on at once. The gel, sticky, burns a little bit more, and the paste, slippy, slimy, smoky. So there's our liquid. Everything looks pretty good on that. Fairly smooth, not too lumpy bumpy. Obviously, you know, when you clean these up, they'll look nicer. The gel, it's got the burn spots. That'll wash off, so you don't have to worry about that part, but looks pretty decent. A little lumpy bumpier, I think, than the liquid. And then the paste, nice, looks good, nothing crazy. So they all function essentially the same, but artist choice on this one. I'd pick the liquid. That's definitely my favorite. All right, Peace, love, and stained glass. Follow for more.